Welcome to the Divorced Dad Playbook podcast. Scott, you got a new mic, you got new lights. What's going on?
It's all professional, buddy. You're
Well,
rubbing
speaking of
off on me.
professional, I noticed that you're not wearing a suit jacket in today's episode. For people who are just listening, go to our YouTube page or go to our website and you can see that now I am more dressed up than you. I'm taking this seriously, man. I'm taking this extremely seriously.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's the Doctor Who theme
All right.
because I'm not taking it seriously. Look at this suit. So you made fun of the Iron Man suit and you made fun of the TARDIS.
my
Look at this.
You're
It's a
such
regular
a dork.
blue. It's a regular blue suit jacket, completely lined in TARDISes.
Dude, how are you getting any dates?
First of all, let me tell you something. Went out with somebody, or hung out with somebody the other day, and showed up in my signature rolled up pants, and
Your knickers?
was instantly told, "Oh, look at you! I love your style. Love your style."
Yeah, because she wanted to borrow the pants to wear the next day.
Hey, she can borrow my pants anytime she needs to. How are you, sir?
Oh, very well. Yes, all this new stuff is great. The you can't keep doing that with the jacket though, bro.
Well, I still have the tag
honestly,
on it.
well, it's good. You have
Hold
the
on,
tag. Can you return it?
No, this again at fun.com,
I
not an
know.
ad, but I'm letting you know. I got this TARDIS jacket, which again I'm gonna wear to like a function. You know what I mean? Like if we have a family function, this is the jacket I'm gonna wear because then it's like, it's like the mullet, right? Business in the front, party in the back. It's like business on the outside, party on the inside. Or tardy.
There's
That's
a
weird.
lot of mullets going around right now, by the way, I will say. But in any case, I digress. Yeah, I'm
I
good. I feel as though this new setup that you had me put together here, I think from the audio it may be better. I'm baking underneath this light.
oh,
I'm literally I'm like a cornbread, in Boston Market, just waiting to be served.
welcome to the world of television lighting. It is sweltering. This is why, just a little peel back the curtain, literally in this case for television. That's why most television studios are like 9 degrees inside. It's so cold in most TV studios because, like David Letterman's legendary, it was like 45 degrees in the studio. People were freezing in the audience because it gets so hot with the TV lights blaring on you that you can't be sweating while you're doing a show. The other day when I wore the Iron Man suit, full suit, and again,
I don't
people
know
who maybe,
I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, for people who maybe are coming in late and missed that episode, go back and again go on the YouTube if you listen on podcasts and you just listen to us. Go watch it because that suit's tremendous. I mean, it's just amazing.
It's
I was
awful.
saturated after the show. I mean,
Did
just
did it
drenched.
melt? Did the suit melt?
No, it's a
Did it
high quality.
malfunction?
It's a it's a high quality $8 suit. So
By the
thank you
way,
very much.
can I just make one mention that
You can do whatever you
when
want, man. It's your gig.
when you were just talking about the coolness
Yes.
in TV studios, you didn't say fun fact
Is that a thing I do?
every time.
Fun fact.
Fun fact is your thing.
Shut the hell up. We're going to talk about something important.
Okay.
I do have a little surprise, not just for you, but for the entire audience. Again, this is one of those things where we have this on the site. People have probably seen it already, but our little fun game in the middle is going to be a little bit more self-congratulatory, maybe, or a promotion for what else we're doing. Because I think a lot of people have come to us through this podcast, but there's so much more to what we're doing. Last time we had a little bit of an explanation, but then we decided we can't talk to everyone, right? You and I can't get in the face of everyone, but our little mascot can. So we'll do that in a little bit. But first, can I do a callback to the episode where I had breaking news that my ex is dating?
Yeah, you did the music twice, right? It was like dun
Correct.
dun
Yeah. Dun,
dun
dun, dun.
dun dun
I don't have that set up
dun.
because it's not
Yeah.
breaking news anymore. It's been a couple of weeks. But the last episode, Scott, I believe it was the last episode, maybe 2 ago, we talked about what happens when your ex is sort of, for lack of a better term, in breach of contract, is not paying child support or alimony, is not showing up at the times that are supposed to be agreed upon already. Those are significant issues. And I know that we said we're going to table that, have legal experts on, and we're obviously going to do that all over the site as well as on this show. This isn't that. This is sort of the other side of it, which is where I believe you will hammer the you need to talk it out communication part of it. I feel like part of our agreement is not being followed in good faith. And I blame myself a little bit because I thought the wording was stronger in the agreement, and it's not. But I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. Or no, I'm sorry. I feel like the situation, the agreement is being taken advantage of, and I'm not sure what to do.
Okay. What part of it?
Well, the fact that, and I mentioned the other day, or like I said a couple of shows ago, that my ex is dating. The kids were with me yesterday, and Zoe mentioned, and seemed a little upset about it, frankly, that they saw a photograph of the guy my ex is dating. That is a gray area at best for me, is it not? Because I looked through my marriage agreement for a long time yesterday to find it, which again, if you have to read your entire marriage agreement 3 times before you find the one line, you probably didn't do a good enough job of making that one line an issue. So shame on me for not getting a lawyer. And that's why I would recommend at least get a mediator or a lawyer involved, because, protect your rights. But I will say, this is the wording as I'm looking at my phone. This is the wording that we have. Both husband and wife shall foster a feeling of affection between their children and other party. Husband shall be entitled to a reasonable, liberal, blah, 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 blah. And then it says, of course I lost it again. Oh, here it is. Sorry. The parties agree not to make any derogatory comments about each other. See, it's not even in here. Both parties, this is impossible to find, Scott. Both parties further agree to discuss with the other parent prior to telling the children about any future significant other in his or her life. That's the only line. And again, I have it screen captured, and it still took me 4 minutes to find. Is this on me, or did I just trust her to maybe do this right?
Wait, so this is about the picture?
This is about the fact that they found out that she was dating before I did.
Right.
Because supposedly they badgered her. And then I got a text with half the information, to which I was unprepared to talk to the kids about, because I thought she was dating like I'm dating, going out on a date here and there, meeting, maybe go out with somebody 2 or 3 times. The kids were the ones who told me she had been dating someone for months. And now I come to find out that she is, according to the kids, offering photos. The kid said, "Oh, is that the guy, or who are you dating? Let me see a picture," or whatever, joking around. And she showed them a picture of Donald Trump, and then said, according to my children, "Oh, do you want to see a picture?" And then showed them a picture of the guy. And then the kids freaked out and ran away. And they were upset about it. Now, again, that may not have been how it actually happened. Kids have a tendency to exaggerate things, but that's how it was brought to my attention. I think that's not kosher. I think that's, God.
Well, I feel like you're going to keep talking about this if I don't stop you.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So all right. Well, we already kind of addressed the issue prior of, trying to follow the letter of the law of what you have in your agreement. It's really hard to do, right? I mean, even if you get an attorney, if you have a mediator, they're going to put stuff down on paper. And you know what? Not everybody has it on their phone like you do, even to be able to check it out. Like, I don't even know where my agreement is. So I have to have some trust in the sense of, we're both trying to parent the right way and we're doing the right things for the kids. You're not going to agree. And all I would say is, to the point of communication, which I do harp on communication. And my ex would say the same thing about me, that communicating via text, although it's easy and convenient, it sort of sucks. There's no tone, there's no depth. A lot of things get lost via text. And when it comes to your kids and exes and dating and doing everything the guys are doing, you have to have a conversation about it. And I'm saying this on both sides. I'm not just saying this for you. You have to have a conversation. Text doesn't work. Text doesn't work if you're going to be upset about it, or if she's going to be upset about it. Text doesn't work, Dan. Like, you
I
have to
get
have a
that, but
conversation
there's a
about it.
limited amount of time that you have with each other. And oftentimes when stuff like this comes up, the kids are sitting right there. I'm not gonna be like, hey guys, I'll be back in 30 minutes. I'm gonna go talk to your mom about something. That's not acceptable. That doesn't
No,
happen.
look, I get it, and I think everyone probably who's listening right now agrees with what you just said. I do. That the reason why I text with my ex is because I can text while I'm working and I can just shoot off a quick note. But I'm telling you, my responses are not great,
We're
and I
texting while
value.
you're talking. I can give you an update on this situation live as we're talking because I just got one.
Oh, well, that's being unfocused. But anyway, so I just think, but I'm sitting here telling you the texting is not working, and you're actually texting while we're
First
recording.
of
And
all,
like,
I was already texting before you told me it wasn't working, and clearly
all
it's not working.
right, it's not
Just
working.
to
I'm
just
trying to tell you it's not working.
All right, but people are more interested in the actual breaking news than your just fatherly advice on this. I was told in response that when I got the sense that my kids were upset about it. This is an interesting thing I want to go to.
Yeah.
I got the sense, and I guess obviously I'm heightened on this. You're always heightened when your ex does something that you disagree with. I think always senses are heightened. But the kids seemed upset. And so what did my ex do?
Seemed. Wait, can you just clarify that? Did they talk to you and say they were upset, or did you just get this from her text seeming like they were upset? I don't understand.
No, I spoke to the children yesterday
Right.
and was told she tried to show me a picture of this guy and I went, I don't want to see it. And I went away. I was now just texted. I just talked to Zoe and they said they're not upset at all. Zoe's exact words were, I trust your judgment. They seemed very sincere. So now I went to her via text to be like, hey, I think that you're overstepping the bounds of our agreement. I remember trying to put in, as you and I discussed a couple of episodes ago, what'd you say? You have a year agreement on
Yeah.
yours?
Yes.
I tried to put in a year. That was balked at. I tried to put in 6 months, and I actually thought I did. And then all I did was one line I could barely find after 4 reads, and then a fifth read right now while I'm trying to find it with you. And so clearly, I wasn't strong enough in that. I was trying to go along to get along. I as I said in the past, I took fault for this. I wanted her to be happy. I wanted it over with because I don't like gray area. I just wanted yes or no. Are we married or we're not? Let me just sign this thing and try to move on with my life, which I didn't even think I could do at that time. So maybe that's why I didn't care. I'm like, screw it. 6 months? I might not even be here. Let her. No, that's not what I mean, this is a concern to me. And again, she's allowed to date. God knows I'm dating people. But when you're dating one person and now you're showing that person, not live, but at least showing that person to your children, I look at what I read to you. That should have been a conversation that I had first with her before the kids see a picture of this guy. Isn't that protecting the kids? This isn't me being petty, Scott. To me, this is protecting the kids.
Yeah, Dan, I don't think that she's harming the kids in this sense. I understand you're being upset about it, and I understand that most people who are listening will relate, and I related at the time too. But the reality is, I don't think she's harming the kids. I think to the point of what Zoe said, whether she should have gone to Zoe or not with it, our kids just want us to be happy, together or apart. Our kids have a happier life when we're happy. It's true. Think about yourself. On days that you're happy, your kids are happy. On days that I'm happy, my kids are happy. Our kids just want us to be happy. It makes it better for them. So I
No,
think what
hold
she's
on.
doing, and I'm not taking sides. Hold on. No. Hold on. I'm not taking sides because there are no sides in this because it's about the
I didn't
kids.
ask you to take my side.
I understand, but I think I just want to make sure that people listening understand that this is a tricky thing. I already stated that I know it's hard to talk because everyone's busy and the kids are around with one of you. If you cannot talk, you have to do your best to communicate via text. In this case, I actually don't think showing a picture of the person that she's.
Did you get an
Siri.
email? Did you get talk about distracted? Let's
No, it's
focus.
Siri pops up for.
You
Siri keeps
literally
popping.
just stopped in the middle of your own words to talk to Siri. It's like you're
No, I don't.
cheating on me. What is
I,
going on?
I know what the. I don't know why Siri keeps popping up on my
What are
computer.
you, Joaquin Phoenix? Your computer sounds like Scarlett Johansson. If that's the case, then go talk to her.
No. Here's the thing. I can't say the word SIRI or anything related to it. It pops up. It's so weird. It's
So
so
you said
weird.
like serious, and
Yes. And she
that's
popped up.
insane. That's insane.
She's stalking me. That's so
And
weird.
you know
Okay.
what that means. That means that your computer is
Is
listening to you at
listening.
all times.
Yes, that was really weird. And I was wondering, it's happened like the past 3 times we've done this. And I must say that word, which I cannot say right now until I figure out how to turn her off.
Oh
But
God.
the word that you just said, Serioussly. Did I spell that right?
I think so. I'll put it on the screen.
So,
I believe that's right.
okay, so I can't say that word. But in any case, not that word, but
Wait, I
in,
think this is a fun thing, but I think what we need, Scott, is I think we just need to redo this part. Let's go back in time. I've got several TARDISes if you want to go back in time to start over. No? I gotta get rid of this tag. Hold on. Let's get rid of this tag. Ah!
oh, I don't want you to rip the
No, it's
tag
one of
here.
those like.
Oh, removed
First
by
of all,
penalty of law.
I got this on. This is loud. I got this on the accordion and violin. I probably could have gotten the rights to this like actual version because like it's Doctor Who. But yeah,
Do you
so
think
now
anyone? I mean, this is another thing that we talked about before. Do you really think anyone? How many people that are listening know like details of who Doctor Who is?
okay, couple things. One, there are married people or divorced people, excuse me, all around the world. There aren't just divorced people in America. Two, it's a British show that has been around for 40 something years. That's like you. This is like you saying like people in America don't like soccer. One, false. Yes, they do. And two,
I didn't
there's
say
an
anything
entire
about
world.
soccer.
People do that. Trust me, as a sports writer, you know how many times I got that soccer stinks.
I
Nobody
like
cares about soccer.
soccer.
That's the Doctor Who argument. It's enormous when it comes
You're
out.
equating Doctor Who to soccer?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a British institution that people in America love but don't make a big deal about. So other people in America balk at it and think it's dumb. It's exactly Doctor Who.
I have
Soccer's
no idea.
Doctor Who of sports.
I have no idea.
There's nuance to it. It's not always
I don't,
expected.
I don't know what Doctor. I don't know anything about Doctor Who. So you're gonna keep telling me about it. I just don't know. Can we
There's
move
this
on to a topic
amazing
that I know
thing
more about?
called the internet where you can type in letters in a row. Serious is one of them. And you can learn about those things. So the fact that I showed up one day in a full TARDIS suit maybe would have had you Googling Doctor Who. It might come up again. This is a callback sport jacket.
You know, I was going to give you props for showing up with a really nice sport jacket, even though you have a hoodie on underneath it. I don't know.
This is
Like,
very hipster. Are you kidding me? How many people wear a
like
hoodie
Mark,
t-shirt with it?
you're
Come
like
on.
you're like Mark Zuckerberg, you know, at a hearing.
You know what? Can I tell you, just can we digress for one more second? If we get to the point where I have to have a hearing in front of Congress, I would love to be Mark Zuckerberg because that means he had more money than everyone else in that room combined. And that is fine with me. I will wear this suit when we go up against Congress. Would love to do that.
I have no intention of being in front of Congress for any reason.
Another digression. And again, we'll go back to the topic in 1 second, but this is really awesome. So on my dating profile, we'll spin it back to like a thing that we talk about. On my dating profile, I have 2 truths and a lie. The 2 truths that I've chosen to put on there are I designed the Rutgers R logo, which people in New Jersey, you know, it's kind of a big deal, but people in New Jersey like think I made that up. Like, why would I make that up? It's so arbitrary.
It's right behind you. It's behind your right shoulder.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's everywhere. It's all over the state. I interviewed Kermit the Frog, which I did for an old podcast of mine, and that's true. And I was a contestant on Top Chef, which I was not, which I would love to be. I used to write about Top Chef and do episode recaps and whatnot, but had former Top Chefs on my old shows, but I was never on the show myself. Well, one thing that I was going to put in there, but I couldn't figure out which would, because it's not like just a cool, I mean, it's like a dating profile. I'm trying to impress people. I once interviewed Chuck Norris.
I remember that.
Yeah, it took me a year to get him on my show. And he is, I want to say, as libertarian as it gets. Very, very conservative man. A constitutionalist, I think. He's actually not a libertarian. I think he's a constitutionalist. And Chuck Norris famously told me, Barack Obama was president, this was like 2009, 2010 or whatever, that he wanted to go down to Congress and roundhouse kick them in the face And it was like a highlight of my life. I don't agree with him politically, but it didn't matter. Chuck Norris wanted to go to Congress. And again, whatever your political leanings, wouldn't that have been worth seeing? Come on.
Yes. I think lots of them could use a roundhouse kick to the face. And I'm not political, so.
And so there you go. That's
Can
my
I just say one other last thing?
double digression there.
I'm going to stay on this digression for a second. I never understood when I was on the dating apps that 2 truths and a lie. I actually didn't like it, and so
Why?
for those of you, because I don't.
You say it's gamified. That's the biggest gamify ever.
But that's like I don't. Yes, it's a game to be swiping and to like pick people and to have conversations and be connecting, whatever it might be. I don't like lies. I don't like it. Like, it's already setting you up. Like, most people are on there because there probably was a lie in your last relationship, the one that you were in a marriage with. I don't like the fact that they put that out there as like, hey, let's start off this potential relationship with a lie. Guess which one I'm lying about? I could be lying about all 3. And I've had that before where I was doing stuff and people were putting things and they're like, oh, just kidding. They're all lies. I didn't really skydive. I didn't really swim with sharks.
Well, guess what? You're unmatched with that person because that person is awful. That person is awful. I have seen people put all 3 truths, and they're very clearly truths. You know, they're very just sort of mundane things.
So what's
things
the point?
That you can, that's a joke. Okay. It's called a conversation starter. It's called a prompt for a reason.
I just don't like that. I just don't like that feature. That's okay. It's not to be for everybody. By the way, you get to select the features you want to use, and I never selected that feature when I was dating.
You know why? It
worked out fine for me.
Yeah, because your life is unremarkable. Because you've done a lot of good things, and you have kids. You have nothing to lie about. You have nothing that would impress people by truth or lie. You're like, I'm an awesome dude. I'm a good dad, and I sell a lot of things. That's your life, and it's great. Good for you.
By the way, that was ridiculous. You just shortchanged my entire life. My life is highly remarkable.
Okay, your life is awesome. It is. You have a great life. You just sold a car on the internet and bought another fancy car. You have awesome stuff that you could talk about. Like, I used to have a car with a Ferrari engine in it. Whatever. Like, there's cool things that you've done in your life. I used to have a license plate with my name on it because I thought it was cool. Whatever. Fine. But you didn't interview Kermit the Frog. You didn't design any logos for major colleges. You didn't roundhouse kick Congress in the face.
You didn't roundhouse kick Congress in the face.
Yeah, but I talked to a guy who did, so that's like I'm remarkable.
Well, I can always say that. I talked to a guy who did all of these cool things that makes me by proxy. Shit. Is that what you said? That I actually.
I just realized that you actually do know a lot of really famous people, and
I know a ton of famous people.
But now so is interviewing them. It's because it's different. Like, you've talked to people, but I've talked to them on air while recording. Oh, here's one that no one knows about.
I've hung out with people.
Yeah, go ahead. Name some. Let's go.
No,
throw a name out.
Nope.
Why? Name drop.
Not yet.
You can't.
Nope.
You can't say I've hung out with people and then not name drop one person. No, was this a blind item or the New York Post now?
I got to check with them.
Oh, you don't want to offend the famous people that you know. Oh my God, you're so popular. I do want to say that the only person who knows this, and I may still have the audio, so this might sneak on the show at some point. The only person who knows this is Dad. I got a call maybe 2.5, 3 years ago from a phone number, and I was supposed to call the number back. I thought it was fake, so I was like, screw it, I'll call. You know how I am. Anything that seems fake, I'm gonna investigate. No, it was real. I got a phone call from Bob Costas, who
I do remember that.
Wanted to bitch me out politely because 3 years prior, I had written an article sort of taking a jab at him, and he was upset about it. I had written when David Letterman, this is how long ago this was, Scott, not when he called me, when I wrote the thing. David Letterman was leaving his show, and before they announced Stephen Colbert, so again, like a decade ago or whatever, I had made a joke about like which people in sports could take that job. And I said, Bob Costas, well, he's had his chance and he's boring. And he had a show on HBO that was like an interview show and a talk show. And he had that old talk show years ago. And he found out about it like 3 years after I wrote it. I was 2 jobs prior. And he found my phone number to call me to tell me how many Emmys this show on HBO won. And we had a great conversation. At one point I said to him, I was like, Bob, listen, you know, I was swigging up. Like, you gotta know what my audience is. We're snarky bloggers. I was like, I'm not like some 20-something-year-old kid. Like, I know your career. I am in awe. I've said on record that they should stop giving you sports Emmys and just name it after you. And then it was like an amazing conversation. And now I have Bob Costas' phone number and we're like buddies. There's my name drop.
Do you guys talk regularly?
I didn't want to bother him. He seemed like he was.
Maybe we should get him on the podcast.
I don't know if he's divorced. I will effort that if he is, because
But
I
if
have
we're
his cell
going with
phone
this
number.
theory, if we're going with this theory, I
Yes.
bet you he knows a lot of famous divorced people.
Oh my God, everyone in
Lots of
sports.
people, lots of people in
is divorced.
sports get divorced, right?
Everyone.
Oh, you know,
Not
okay,
just a
I'll
lot
say
of
one. I'll say one. A famous friend, divorced person, which I'll save the story for another time. But
Mhm.
I will say one, and then we can move back to what we're talking about.
Oh, we're moving on. I'm done with
I
that.
had drinks. I drank wine with Billy Joel in Italy.
What?
Yep.
I
You don't
rescind
know that
all.
story?
No, I
You
don't.
don't
I
know that
rescind
story?
all unremarkable stories. That is
It
tremendous.
was remarkable. Yes, it was amazing.
How do
It's
I
amazing.
not know? What did you? How do I not know that story?
Yeah,
My
you
God,
just
my
don't pay
voice is-
attention.
No, I never heard that. Did you have a bottle of red and a bottle of white?
We had a bottle of red. I don't think we got to
I
the
would
white.
sing, but I forget the next words. We're not going to
Something
go.
about appetite.
Yeah, an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
I want to switch gears because whatever, we disagree on the thing about my ex, and I'm not belaboring that anymore. But I do want to show the thing I talked about at the beginning. When we started this whole Divorced Dad Playbook, we talked about like we needed to strike a tone. And I think the show sort of falls a little bit in line with it. We're joking around a little bit, but it's a serious topic, and it's sort of like, this is your life, WTF? Like you got to deal with it, and let's be positive, let's be uplifting, and that's what we try to do. Not just with this show where we rip each other for fun, and hopefully people enjoy it, but for the site, there's an insane amount of information and resources and experts and things like that. But it's difficult to talk to people about it sometimes, right? You've had that issue a little bit, like when we first started launching and we're like, oh, what is this? It's hard to explain, like, oh, we're helping divorced dads. We're creating a platform with resources. And all the women I talked to were like, well, why just divorced dads? I'm like, because you have resources. Like, oh, you're right, we do. And then they do the research and they're like, wow, there's really nothing out there for dads.
Yeah.
Now there is.
Yeah.
So can I
think
show
once
the
you-
little?
Yeah, I think you should show this, because this video that you're about to show, I've been showing to some people, and the minute I show it to them, they're like, oh my God, you're right. Dads have nothing. They're all alone. They need this. And I'm like, okay, well,
All right,
we're trying to
here we
help
go.
as many people as we can.
Let's see our pitch here. Ready? Hi, welcome to the Divorced Dad Playbook. The guy's got a nice
What is
voice.
the Divorced Dad Playbook? Simply put, it's a guide for living your life as a single parent. Let's say this is you. Let's say you're single or single again and you're ready to start life version 2.0. We seem more connected than ever, but are we? Look, we get it because we've been there too. In a flash, family and friends disappear. Your responsibilities double. Sometimes you feel like you're the only person in the entire world. Well, we want to make your life a little easier. We want to make you feel more connected. We want to help you be a better dad. We know what you're thinking. Okay, cool, but how? Well, you can take us with you anywhere you need us. At home, at work, on mobile. Heck, we'll even directly beam into your ears. The world is a crowded place, and it can feel overwhelming, especially at a time like this. But we want to help you get through all that to focus on what's really important. Your kids. Divorced Dad Playbook. Expert advice, daily motivation, exclusive deals, smart, timely content. You guys get the point. There's a lot of stuff to help us build a better community, and we promise to help you save time, energy, and focus on your kids.
Well, I want to sign up.
That's sweet. That's good stuff. By the way,
I love that little guy. I drew that turtle. We went back and forth on what animal to pick. I drew that turtle. And I want to get into that. I talked to my therapist about this the other day. We'll talk about this another time. but like how we decided on that character, I think is an interesting story because it was a combination of the two of us and our backgrounds and histories. I had written a children's book when I was going through my separation, and I drew a bunny, and I was the bunny essentially. And the bunny, just no one liked him. And it was the moral of the story is until you love yourself, no one will love you. And my therapist saw that video the other day that I just just played rather, and said, this is the end of the book that you couldn't do before because you weren't ready for it. And she said, now you're ready for it. And that's that. And I thought that was really amazing. And I said, it's funny because when I first did the turtle, I was going to use the bunny that I used for that book. Cause I was like, I taught myself how to draw. Like, that's what happened. I got separated. I taught myself how to draw, and I taught myself how to finish the basement. It's like, all of a sudden my brain woke up, was like, do shit, idiot. And so I was going to use that bunny, but then we went back and forth. We talked frog, and then I said something about a turtle, and you're like, yes, turtle. That's like very important to you with going to University of Maryland and things like that. So I love that. Like, I legitimately have a character that I love, and that's awesome because,
Yeah. Wow. That was really a warm and heartfelt story. I was just going to say, go Terps.
No. And I said to her,
it's all about
like
the Terps. I know you're part of it, but obviously, I always want to be representing my alma mater. And
no, you said
character.
something about the turtle where you have to start slow and methodical. It's sort of like the slow and steady wins the race, and that's kind of what we're doing here, right?
That is. And you also have this shell where you can kind of, it's protective, and we all are here together to protect each other, and you have the shell that you can hide within and then stick your head out every once in a while and see what's going on. I think that those things are important. And I also think the other thing that we talked about, which is, as I say often, I'm not political, and I also just believe in what we're doing, and we're trying to help everyone, and there's no better representation of the myriad of different types of people who are divorced dads than a green terp.
Right. That is another reason why we didn't want to do a human, because humans are really not great and turtles are awesome.
There we go.
Fun fact. Did you know?
There we go. There it is.
Did you know that you're not allowed to own turtles in the state of New Jersey? It is illegal to own a turtle.
I did not know that.
Have all sorts of disease and whatnot.
Interesting. That's a shame.
Yeah. Another fun fact, years ago, Max was in the hospital at CHOP overnight. He had a bleed and we needed to keep him overnight. And so I stayed with him and slept in there. And in the CHOP in Philly, the one near us, the local hospital, he gets his own room. But in CHOP in Philly, they share a room. And there was a young child who was in the hospital for a week next to us, and they couldn't figure out what he had. Finally, they did a bunch of tests, and it turns out he had salmonella because they had a pet turtle that I believe it was a turtle. It might've been a snake that his dad had caught in the local creek and put in a cage or in a box or whatever. And the kid was playing with it. So it's probably a turtle, not a snake, if I remember correctly, because who's playing with a snake? That's insane. And the kid was little. The kid was 2 or 3. And he got salmonella from it because then he was putting his hands in his mouth. And the doctor came in and they're like, look, this is what it says. Do you have any animals? The guy was like, yeah, we have this. And they're like, oh, you can't have that. You can't have that in the house. That's why he's sick. He's been here for a week in the hospital. And the dad, the curtain was there, so he couldn't see my face. The dad was like, yeah, no, all right, we'll be fine. We'll just be more careful. And I'm like, oh my God, man. Oh my God. Your kid was in the hospital for a week with some random disease. No one knew what he had. They finally figured it out. And they said, it's your stupid turtle that you stole from the creek nearby that almost, and you're like, no, that's fine. We'll just keep him away. Oh my God.
I'm not so sure. I just want to qualify. I'm not so sure that was a fun fact, but it was a story. You used fun fact twice. You used fun fact twice. That was not a fun fact. A kid getting chicken disease from a turtle that his dad caught in the creek is not a fun fact.
The fun fact was that you can't purchase one in New Jersey. Also not fun because I love turtles and I would want one.
But so can I say one other thing?
No.
I just find interesting. I'm gonna anyway, because I have the mic. Damn it. So
I can mute you, by the way. I'm in charge of this recording. So.
I know you are. So I thought it was funny because I wanted to see how you felt about it. When you were just watching that and listening to that recording, obviously you were in jest saying that's a great voice. It's your voice on there, which it does sound pretty good. People are always surprised when they're like, "That's your brother," because you didn't say fun fact. Maybe
I did have to script it, by the way. I tried to do it.
I understand.
Like
okay,
ad lib, and I couldn't, so I had to write it.
No, it was probably it came out well. It came out really good.
It did. It came out better.
So when my kids were watching one of the podcasts or the montage, they were watching the montage.
All right.
They were watching the montage. It was very funny. Like they know both of us and obviously very well, and they just wanted to see what the banter was about. And they see us working on this.
So my nephews know that I made out with a homeless woman in the park.
Yes, and they were cracking up. They're like,
awesome.
Uncle Dan. They're like, Uncle Dan is insane. And I was like, yeah, I always knew that, but you're just not going to see it and hear it.
So how about this? Here, let's pay off that one. Can I tell you another fun fact? I played that sizzle reel for someone last night. I know. I played that for someone last night. While we were watching the video, she kissed me, and then we made out. Bam.
Wow.
I said to her afterwards, I was like, that you just heard me say that I think I may have made out with a homeless woman, and that's what made you want to kiss me.
Oh boy.
Ooh,
you're not dull, that's for sure. You're not dull. Doctor Who.
My life is like one big TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside.
Yes. I don't even know what a TARDIS is. Anyway, I don't want to go back there. So what the kids were saying to me, they said, Daddy, SIRI just came on.
Because you say you said my kids are saying to me. Kids say. I think that's what it must have been.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
You just gotta enunciate properly.
I shall. So my kids.
I love how you said earlier that I was unfocused. Now at least 2 or 3 times you've derailed this entire show because Siri wanted to ask you a question.
Well, that's not my fault. My kids asked if it was uncomfortable for me to hear my own voice during the show. And I actually said it kind of was, because most people think that. But you didn't even blink when you actually were showing up. Like, you were proud of hearing your own voice in that, which is pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive.
Okay.
I know. You've done 1,000 shows. You talked to
this is really interesting.
People,
this is really, really interesting. First grade, I did a play where I was Father Time. Actually, ironically, I was a bunny. And they handed the microphone around, and we were on stage for the whole school. And I heard my voice for the first time. And it sounded nothing like what my voice sounds like to me. And I was appalled. I'm like, this is what I sound like to the people. It was like a whole other person. And I remember since first grade, I was 6, 7 years old. I remember that. And so every time that I would talk, every time I'd have to do public address at a Rutgers soccer game or baseball game, my voice would sound different. And then I would do TV, radio spots or whatever. And I would be like, it's not how I thought it. It takes years to get to a point where your internal monologue sounds like you sound to other people. And now I do. When I listen back, I hear the same voice. But when I did my podcast, I used to hope that it was mixed properly sound-wise because I hated hearing my own voice. I hated it. It just didn't sound like me. So I totally get that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm getting used to it. I'm not used to it because obviously I did not do a podcast for all those years. Yeah. I do speak a lot. I just am not usually recorded when I'm speaking. I'm just speaking to the people. So interesting. Fun fact.
Can we end
I'm not sure I like my voice.
Can we end on something else that is sort of related to the ex dating thing? Not necessarily, but it's interesting. And I don't know what to do because it's happening in 70 minutes. I got a call yesterday. The kids were sitting here, and I get a call from a woman on Instagram direct message, a video call. She is not a big texter. Ironically, I was thinking about this woman the day before, and I'll get to that in 1 second, but she wanted to ask me if I could talk to her. She needs advice. I was like, all right, fine. What do you need? She's so loud, so the kids can hear everything. So I run into the other room, try to turn the volume down. They could still hear a little bit. She is dating someone. And I think he's going through a divorce thing. She's not sure what to do. She thought of all the people in the world to ask, I was the one that she thought she could get advice from. The context, which I found peculiar, is that the person she dated and was somewhat interested in having a serious relationship prior to this gentleman was me. And so I said to her, if you're texting me or calling me for advice on what to do with this guy, I'm pretty sure you already made that decision. And so I don't know what to do because, as I said, someone asked me the other day, like, what's your ideal world? Like, give me everything in the world works out for you. And I said, we have 1 million listeners to the podcast. We have 150,000 subscribers to our site. I drive a full electric Porsche Taycan Turbo S that goes 0 to 60 in 2.2 miles per hour. The kids are going to whatever college they want. And this woman said, no, like, who's next to you? Who's sharing that life with you? And I said, I don't know yet, because I don't know what my life's going to be like when we get that popular or famous. But that woman's head, who ended up literally sending me a video the next day, is what popped in. I said, if I get to that level of success, I think that I would match with her. I do not feel that I am at that level with her yet, which is why I have an inferiority complex, which is why I couldn't stay with her, because it felt like my marriage. I was with this amazing woman, and I was like, why do I want to die? Why do I feel like I'm terrible? Like, this doesn't make any sense. She's amazing. Oh, right. It's because I don't feel like I'm good enough for her. But that's the person who pops in my head. If I ever get to a point where I'm not worried about the finances and I'm not worried about all this other stuff, she's the person I think I would revisit. And then she calls me yesterday asking me for relationship advice. What the hell do I do now?
You recognize the fact that she's the person that you envision in the future now. But the person who's going to be your person in the future, you have no idea who that person is right now. You're dating, dude. You're not looking to get serious with anyone. You got to enjoy yourself. Like,
stop saying that word.
Oh, yeah. I can't.
You can use a thesaurus.
Not in the middle. We just started talking about that. I just realized what was happening. So what other word could I use than you're not ready to get what? I mean, what's the other word besides serious?
I'm no wordsmith, but you could have used genuine, honest, deliberate, severe, sincere, which probably would also trigger.
It would have totally triggered it.
Austere.
Okay, so you're not ready to get, you're not ready to get austere.
Is it contemplative or contemplative? Oh, that's like a Doctor Who question. Again. Oh, is it contemplative or contemplative?
Please, can we just end this?
That's your advice? Your advice is, you didn't even give me advice. You just made fun of me and then said...
sorry, it was just so easy to make fun of you sometimes. The advice is, you're just not ready. So give her guidance, let her go. Let her go.
No, I'm not, oh my God, I'm not going there with the intention of like swooping in and stealing her.
No,
I just find it to be peculiar timing that like, I was literally asked by someone on a date, frankly. I was asked like, who's your ideal woman? And I'm like, I say the same thing as you, Scott. I don't have that right now. That's not important to me right now. What's important to me is the person who's sitting in front of me, and maybe that person will develop into that. I'm not picking and choosing one person saying she's my dream girl. That I had that for 17 years.
Clearly, as you're talking about, the making out with homeless women, and you're then making out with somebody new.
Yeah, that was weeks ago. Are you kidding me? The homeless woman was weeks ago.
I understand, but you just said that you were talking to someone last night, and you were.
I made out with like 8 people since then.
Which is probably the issue. You just answered your own question. You just answered your own question. Give her the advice. Give her the advice to go forward with this guy, whoever it is, and let her go and just move on with your life. As great as it is right now, you're having some fun and you seem happy. Just stay with fun and happy for a little while. Let it marinate. Feels good.
Should I or should I not show my kids her picture?
Come on,
because she's super attractive, and
come on, dude, don't be like that.
No,
don't be like that.
How do you want to end this?
Especially with that, like what you just said. You know how I feel. Come on, man. Kids first.
Go ahead, end it.
Kids first. Quit it.